How's it going, fam? Welcome back to Erica's EDC, and today we are talking about a lot of fun things. Guys, I've been missing in action. It was a busy week last week. We had the kids, lots of driving them around to their friends, soccer, all sorts of things. So I've been kind of busy. But we have a lot to catch up on. We have something really cool that has recently come in that we're going to check out. But we need to do a little bit of a testing update, an EDC update. We have all kinds of things to talk about. So I'm going to add some photos in here of what I've been doing with predominantly the test knife, which is the Deer Rock Knives Barnyard Junior in 10V. I've been carrying this every single day and using this and only this for the whole month of August. The testing will not end until the beginning of September, but I've been trying to take some photos and stuff of what I've been doing with this knife, so I'm going to include those in here. But also, I was going through one of my old flash drives the other day, and I've had a number of people comment on the channel whenever I've referred to my old fishing days or hunting days or whatever, specifically when talking about knives that are suited for fishing, hunting, whatever. People don't believe me for some odd reason. I don't know why. Like, most people do, but there's a good little handful of people that do not believe that I have ever been hunting or fishing in my entire life. So what I'm going to do is cut this. I'm going to insert some photos of my prime fishing days and hunting days, and a couple photos of some use with this, and then we're really going to get into the nitty-gritty. I will warn you, these photos are from 15 plus years ago. Some of them are from when I was like 17, 18, whatever, but a lot of these photos are from when I was like very, very young. I am about to turn 30 in a couple weeks, and if you think I look like crap now, wait until you see what I looked like as a kid. Fair warning. So let's cut this, let's look at some cool old photos, and then we will get into the nitty-gritty. Alright, so as you can see, I really did actually do the thing. Like I said, no idea why people don't believe me, but I used to be huge into fishing and hunting. I have more of the hunting photos, but they're a little more gruesome, and I just put one up just to see how the reactions to that go. But in that particular photo, I was only 14, so very, very young. But the fishing was like my entire life. I have thousands of photos from fishing. Those were just some of the larger largemouth and smallmouth bass that I had caught, but I've always been huge into the outdoors and stuff, so I'm not a poser, I promise. I really do know what I'm talking about. But let's get into the stuff that I've been carrying. I really am excited to talk about how the testing of this knife is going, and then we are going to talk a little bit about some extra things that have come in and some other tools that I've been using and stuff. So I'm actually going to lower you guys down here, and we'll just look at the pocket stuff that we've been carrying around. Do that. Okay, so this is what's been in the pockets, not really much has changed per usual, guys. Boring chapstick, nobody cares. We've got the same minimalist wallet that I made that I've been carrying for I don't even know how long, but just one of the slimmest wallets I've ever seen. It's literally, there's nothing to it. But this hasn't changed at all. Great for summertime, super lightweight. The traditional knife that I'm carrying is the Case Mini Copper Lock. It is in a carrot slip that I made. Love orange, my favorite color, so rocking that. And we've got the Mini Copper Lock here, just a really cool old school knife. Definitely got the Teeners on it. Long pull, swedge. It does lock. Just a really nice little backup knife, clearly been used. Absolutely love it. Really needs some oil. I've got some built up gunk in there, but I'll try to remember to take care of that. We'll go into the main blade in a minute because that'll take a hot second to talk about. Same flashlight, waiting for it to die. Phoenix E12 version 2. Absolutely beat to crap. Just still going, waiting for that battery to crap the bed. Really like this little light, and the new version is just as good. We've got the Super Tinker. Has everything I need, nothing I don't. This never changes. You guys have seen that 100 times. Let's talk about the knife. So this is the test knife for August. Deer Rock Knives Barnyard Junior in 10V, heat treated by Scott Larimore over at CD Knives. 65 HRC, I want to say. 64, 65. Awesome Kydex sheath here. Really love this. I've just been carrying it. That's called scout carry, right? When you have it, you know, not like that. Geez, like that on your belt. I think it's called scout carry, whatever. Loving the sheath. Great snap. This knife is absolutely amazing. We've got the partial tang there, so it's super lightweight. 3 thou BTE, incredibly slicey. Holds an edge forever. I can touch it up on a ceramic rod with no issues at all, but I've been doing a bunch of work with this. The dog food prep, this has been doing all of it, and I got a fairly large order the other day. I got some raw food from a new supplier. They're 2-foot long tubes that have to all be cut up. Also, I had to rebuild our entire lawnmower because it completely crapped the bed, and at one point I needed to drain the stale gas. That was part of the problem. Needed to drain the stale gas out of the mower, so I cut a water jug, cut the top off, and it had a little handle, which was nice, and I was able to drain it into there, but the knife did quick and easy work of cutting that plastic. Just so much work with this little knife, and this is a knife where if all of my other knives burnt in a house fire and I had this one on me and it survived, I would be totally fine carrying this for the rest of my life, and only this, genuinely. This is the perfect EDC knife in my opinion. I love the subtle Coke bottle handle. Ergonomics are absolutely wonderful on this. Thin and slicey blade, sharpened spine, just a beautiful actual user. I have been doing everything with this knife, and Greg is an immaculate maker. Hopefully you can see just how incredible his symmetry work is, his fit and finish. Like, it is unbelievable what he can do. So if I could only have this forever, I would be so okay with that. The 10V is holding an incredible edge. We all love 10V. I have rusted the very tip there, which I will try to pick up. I think that's because I use from here forward for a lot of the dog food stuff, especially just opening the dog food rolls. And I think when I leave this on the counter with the blood and juice on it and stuff for too long, it just tends to rust non-stainless blades. So that is unfortunately all rust right there, but that is my own fault. The stuff back here, I don't think is. I think it's just gunk. But that is all rust, which I can probably get off at some point. But this knife is just incredible. I cannot recommend Greg as a maker enough. He does phenomenal blades. And you could obviously get this thicker. If you're worried about 3000 BTE, you can absolutely get a thicker stock, a thicker grind, whatever. But this has been amazing for me. Absolutely love this. So that's the blade that we're carrying for the whole month. Now let's go over a couple of little oddball things here that I've been using. I used these during the lawnmower rebuild, which took a number of days because I had to, take the gas tank off and clean it. I had to do the oil on it. I had to change the spark plug. I had to take the entire carburetor off, take the carburetor completely apart and clean it with Carb Clean. Like, every speck of that mower was taken apart, cleaned, and rebuilt. Now it's running like a champ first pull. So that's what she said. Also your mom. But I had to use these for a number of things. You guys know, if you've ever worked on small engines or anything like that, fuel lines, tubes, all kinds of things. They have those little metal brackets. They go around the tube, and they've got little arms that you have to pinch to loosen with some sort of pliers. Sometimes they're in finicky, tight places, so the needle nose work really well. Sometimes to get more surface coverage on those brackets. Occasionally the Nipex work better just because they have a little bit of a wider head and surface area here. They're also angled, and these are just two different animals, right? By the way, this is a sheath from Failsafe Goods that he made for me for the Nipex. I don't think he's taking orders right now, but this is the E series Nipex slip. Very cool. But I used both of these during that rebuild, and they were both really incredible. I can't recommend one over the other because obviously they're two completely different things. You only have the pliers with the Nipex, whereas with the Leatherman you got a whole bunch of tools. The cool thing about the Leatherman was that I did use I used this flathead screwdriver to separate the carburetor bowl because it's kind of not vacuum sealed, but it's got a big O-ring in it, and if you've never taken the carb apart before, it's really suctioned together. So I had to use a really thin tool to get in there and slowly pry each side of the bowl apart, and that worked really well. And then because I'm mentally challenged, when I took the little float out, the little needle, I put it back together, and I, just for the heck of it, tried blowing air through the carb, and there was no airflow, so I knew that the silicone head of the little needle had gotten stuck in there. So I had to take the whole thing apart again, and sure enough, that little silicone cone was stuck in the way, and it had separated from the float. So I used the all leather punch, whatever you want to call it, and basically had to very delicately go down in there and kind of scoop a little piece of silicone out, a little piece of rubber, half the size of my pinky nail, maybe even less. Like, the thing is so tiny, it's literally like that big. But this, that little tiny point there, perfect for just gently scooping that out. So, Leatherman, as much as I can't stand the brand, and I don't believe I would ever buy another one, they are useful. They're handy. It's one of those things where you kind of just have to use them sometimes. I don't like their business moves. I don't like anything they do, but, they're just dang handy, and you're just going to take the hit sometimes, take the loss. So yeah, lots of use with this. Very, very handy. I don't need spring-loaded pliers, so the Leatherman rebar has always worked really well for me. I've had this for a long time. Just a bunch of super useful tools. Doesn't really bother me that they're not accessible on the outside because I don't work in a blue-collar field anymore. However, when I did for a number of years, something like the Wave was way more convenient for me because I liked being able to open and close some of those main tools on the outside. But this kind of only comes out doing house projects now and stuff like that, so it doesn't faze me not having the easy access to things. Always been a huge fan of the Knipex pliers though. These are just so handy to have on you. I use the extra small ones that are like that big every single day for my leather work. If you are somebody who is a handyman or just likes to be helpful in this world, carrying a pair of these is so helpful. I adore these. This is the same pair that I've been running for like 6 years, I want to say. And I've said this before, I actually enjoy that combo more than a Leatherman. I really do. I think that running a Knipex and a Swiss Army knife, I just think you have more capability. The tools are easier to use. They're better quality. I have had immense luck carrying this duo over one of these. That's just me. And I did that for a number of years. The last thing I want to talk about is this knife that I showed at the beginning here, the Babymoon Blades Nitro Hunter in Nitro V. And this is really neat because if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you know that I tested the Hunter from them. This is a beautiful knife, CPM 154. I adore this thing. I actually have two of these, one in canister Damascus and this one. This is an awesome blade. It can be used as an EDC blade and a hunting blade, obviously, but I was watching a live from Adam himself, and apparently they have kind of gone back to one of the original models of the Hunter and reintroduced some of the characteristics that were in the original that they took away with this, and now they've reintroduced them. So a couple of the main differences that you can see would definitely be handle thickness. I really like that we went back to a more filling handle. This is really nice and comfy and all the things, but there's no denying that the thicker handle is way more comfortable, just above and beyond. Another difference that you will see is the blade shape has been altered a little bit. So the new one, the Nitro Hunter, has the, you know, kind of more of a belly here reintroduced, not as pointy as this iteration. We've got kind of that true drop point belly Hunter there. Jimping is pretty much the same. What I really like about this version are the flats that they put on here. So hopefully you can see that. This whole part is a little bit of like a valley, which makes sense because it's a Coke bottle. From here down, we literally have like a skateboard ramp. So not only is it super comfy for the pinch grip here, but when you hold the knife in a hammer grip like this, which is, you know, a very natural way of holding a fixed blade knife, your thumb naturally falls right on that flat spot. And I can't tell you how comfortable this knife is to hold like this. This one, you know, had a little bit of the same thing for sure, but just because the handle thickness was so much thinner to begin with, that ramp is not nearly as prominent. So when you held it, there's basically a space. See that? Kind of a space when you held it because the knife was just so thin, just really thin. So it kind of wiggles around in there. But with the new one, it absolutely locks in. Like, your thumb just rests right up against that, and you have so much room for that skinning pinch grip there. I love the removable hardware. I have not tried to remove it. I will say it looks very small. It looks like the same size as a T6, but I think they're Allen keys or something. I don't even know. Tiny. I would be guaranteed to strip those out. I will tell you that right now. But I think it kind of looks cool. I think it almost looks like a production knife because it's so perfect, but you can tell that it's a custom. The stone wash on the blade is absolutely stunning. Razor sharp Nitro V61 HRC. The edge is a beautiful, nice, shiny convex. They do all of the things by hand, you know. Like, they machine some of the stuff, but what I'm saying is it's all assembled by hand in-house. Like, they're overseeing all of the stuff. Adam puts the edges on. It's just a really cool knife. To me, if I were looking for a custom knife, but with the qualities of a production knife, this is definitely something I would go for, because not everyone likes the little character flaws that custom knives can have, you know, little blemishes or little uneven things or whatever. If you're a perfectionist, I guess, Babymoon does some ridiculous work. This thing literally looks like a production knife. It really does. The way that they did this version, it just looks like you could buy it at like DLT Trading or something. This thing is amazing. So really excited to test and use this. Definitely enjoying it already over the old one. Again, nothing wrong with this, but this is money for me. I really like the upgrades. So we'll see how that one does. But yeah, that's kind of today's video. I have a ton of stuff to film this week. It is stupid how many things I have to film. I need to do the best testing and sharpening and stropping with this, which hopefully I'll do tomorrow. I've just been slammed with leather work as well. Obviously, if you guys need any, hit me up. Yes, I do make Nipex slips. They don't look like this. This is like really heavy duty. He put a welt on this. I don't really do that for Nipex slips. I make them kind of like this, but for these, or the fold around type. But yeah, I have a whole bunch going on, so please be patient with me. But oh geez, let me show you this real quick. Sheath for the Nitro Hunter. They do leather too, but mine came with a Kydex, Halloween colors. It's got that cool clip on the back. Great retention. Snaps right in. No rattle, no nothing. Awesome job. Adam and Lisa do a ridiculous job over at their place. Like, they crush their work. Awesome people too. So that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know which fish was your favorite down in the comments. Which of those big boys, which one of those slabs was your favorite? Don't ask me what I caught them on, because it is a secret. And yes, they were all caught on just about the same thing, but I will never tell anybody that. I've only told a couple people, but I'll never tell you guys. Anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next video. I don't know. That doesn't really look like a use your shit right now because it's clean. Let's do this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Go use your shit. Learn how to sharpen your knives. I'll see you guys so soon. I love you so much, fam. Take care.